The GOAT's back. The GOAT is here. It's Messi's world, man. This is Messi's era. I don't know what to say about this guy, man. Honestly, when I say I've started this video about 5 times because I can't find the words to describe what we're actually watching or what we've watched for 20 years, man. Like this kid, I say this kid, he's not a kid, man. He's a grown ass man, and he's still performing to this level. He's almost 39, and Messi is performing to this level. I don't know what to say. But before I try and find the words to describe this phenomenon, this alien, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's liked my videos, everyone that's liked them, subscribed, shared them. It means a lot, man. And I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers before the end of the week. So if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe. Everyone that knows me and everyone that's been watching my content over the last week or so knows I'm trying to stay consistent. I wasn't even planning on doing World Cup content, to be honest, and I woke up around, I think it was about 3 a.m. or 3:30. Saw Messi had scored, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to tune in. He's got the second one, and then he's banged the hattie. He dropped the hattie on his first game of this World Cup. It's his 6th World Cup. He is 38. He is turning 39, and he is still performing to this level. It's not normal. This guy's career is far from normal. What we've watched, what we've witnessed, it's just something else, man. You know, and shout out to, you know, all the other superstars that have, you know, played so far. You know, they've performed, man. You know, Mbappe, you know, he bagged 2 goals. He probably could have had a lot more. Elise, I think it was 1 or 2 assists, and his all-round performance, fantastic. Haaland got 2 goals. You know, we've seen Vert, you know, pop up with a, you know, a very good performance, an assist. Virgil, Isak, and you know, I'm talking about the Liverpool players because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan. But you know, the stars are performing, man. And this guy's just, he's taking it personally, and he just announced himself again. I don't know how you can perform. I don't know how you can do what he does at that age, and maybe it's because we've not seen it before, but we've not seen anything like Lionel Messi before. This guy is just a phenomenon. He is not from planet Earth. God has blessed us with this guy, and you know, I said this morning, like, I've watched a lot of Messi over the years, you know, the Barca days, obviously, even when he moved to PSG, you know, I tried to tune into as many games as possible. When I was in Miami, around 18 months ago, I wanted to go to a game, but you know, MLS was having their off season. And considering the amount I've watched him, I still don't think I've appreciated his greatness. And when we talk football, you know, we always talk Messi, and I just don't think, I think I've taken him for granted, and I don't know how it's possible because I've watched a lot of Lionel Messi, and it's still, everything he does just shocks me, man. And it's scary and it's sad to see that we might not see a player like this ever again in our lifetimes. You know, my uncles, you know, they're very, you know, Maradona is their GOAT. But, you know, anyone of my generation, it's, you know, it's Messi, it's Ronaldo, it's R9, Zidane. It's, you know, those are normally the conversations that we're having. I just don't, and you know what it is, I don't want to argue about other people's opinions on the fact Messi is my GOAT, and I'll die on that hill. I just think he can do everything. You know, he's 38, like I've said for the 5th time, and you know, he's not as fast as he was. You know, he's learned how to, even if he might walk around the pitch, I mean, there was times in the game I saw him, you know, come back defending, but he knows how to utilize his energy and not waste it. You know, in his early days, he was a pressing machine, man. He was a monster, and I think people forget that. You know, that Barcelona team, you weren't allowed to just walk around. Obviously, he earned that right with age, and even his coaches probably wanted to get the best out of him, you know, keep him closer to the goal and let him be effective in, you know, the final third. But it's just what is he doing? It's not right. It's not fair for everyone else that even wants to be a footballer. When you watch Lionel, if you play football, you know how hard it is to do the things he does. You know, it dictates the game, the way he dribbles, the way he just uses his body to let the ball do the work. You know, there's times where he fools defenders without even touching the ball, and it sounds so simple, but it's not. I promise you, it's not normal. If you play football at any level, to watch this guy, it's not fair, man. And I think, you know, sometimes if you can't, no one's come close to replicating what he can do, and I think that's scary. We've never seen anything like this, and we're just so lucky. And I think even yesterday he just showed like a wide range of, even his performance. It was a versatile performance, like like you would expect. But you start with the first goal, banger from outside of the box. Could the goalkeeper have done better? He got a hand to it, and he probably should have been stronger. I don't think the goalkeeper was the best, if we're being fair. Second one, the anticipation to make sure he's running. As soon as McAllister's taken that shot, Messi's making sure that he's at least entering the box to clean up any mess if it doesn't go in. And even the finish, man, it was such a simple finish, but it was smart. The goalkeeper expected him to take it on his stronger foot, and he just tapped it on his weaker foot. I don't think Messi has a weak foot, but and then the third goal, typical Messi goal, man. It's just, the guy's a joke, and I don't know how to. I don't think I can articulate how good this guy actually is, and I'm trying my hardest, but and I don't want to talk about the whole him and Ronaldo thing. That's just a whole other conversation. He's one of the greatest players of all time as well. But for me, Messi's clear, man. He can just do everything. Wide range of passing, can dictate the game. He could play as a striker if he wanted to. We've seen him as a winger. We're seeing him as, at times the areas of the pitch he's picking the ball up at times. He's like a deep line midfielder. It's an absolute joke, man. And I want to know what you guys think of the performance. Are people overhyping it because it's Messi? And you know what? I was saying to someone as well. I think one of the smartest things this guy has done is, in terms of business side, is moving to the MLS. I'm seeing people that you just know aren't football fans talking about this guy, and they're talking about the 38-year-old version of him. They're not talking about prime Lionel Messi. And I think Messi's had about 3 or 4 different primes, and I think that's scary in itself. But I'm seeing like Patrick Mahomes tweeting, Mike Tyson. There's been so many, and it's just, and even like Twitter pages I follow that are like predominantly music pages from America. These guys can't believe what they're watching, and they're watching a Lionel Messi at the end of his career. And I think, and this is what I say when it comes to PR, like PR in football is very important in terms of discussions and awards, and I think Messi probably has cared about awards and stuff in the past, like most players do. But can you imagine if he had tapped into this American market, like 10 years ago? It's wild what it's doing for his reputation. And I'm not saying that's the reason he's gone there. I think he probably did want to come out of the spotlight a bit, go enjoy the Miami weather, and just take a break from playing at the top level. And I was saying to one of the boys this morning, or a few of the boys, I think Messi could still play in Europe. He is that good. He doesn't look like he's... Okay, yeah, of course he's lost a yard, but he doesn't look out of place, and I think we're going to see it the deeper we go into the tournament. And before the World Cup started, people were saying like, who do you want to win? Who do you want to win the World Cup? And I said, listen, I just want Messi to win number 2, man. If he can win that second World Cup, it's just a phenomenal end to his career. I think what we've witnessed for the last 5 or 6 years, I think it's 2 Copa Americas, World Cup, and if he gets another one, it's just, and this is what I'm talking about with another peak. He's just gone to another. I don't think he's gone to another level. He just seems content in the way he's playing. It's like he's playing with no pressure. He's in a constant state of flow state, and it's just visible on the pitch. And that as soon as that pressure came off him after winning the World Cup, we're just seeing Messi have fun. He's won everything there is to win. He didn't need to come to the Premier League, and I only wish he came to the Premier League. Of course, I would love for him to play for Liverpool, even though I don't think we ever were in a financial position to afford it. But B, just to squash the arguments, like what are we talking about? Like, I think some people just want to hate just for the sake of hating. Like, just enjoy what you're watching. You're living through history. I don't think people realise that. You get so caught up in the hate and wanting to criticise someone because you have your goal is somebody else, or he's not. You believe somebody else is a better player than him, and that's okay. Like, football's it's an opinion-based sport. I mean, numbers are numbers, performances are performances, but like whatever. But I just think sometimes just live in the moment, man. You are witnessing greatness, and I think some people in the next 10 years, or when Messi hangs his boots up in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to regret hating on him. You spent so much time hating on a player because you don't think he's better than your favourite footballer. Like, that's scary to me, man. And I have these conversations with, like, when I have music conversations and that sort of stuff, it's just like, you don't understand. You're living through history. The way our parents or family members talk about Maradona, a lot of us are too young to have seen him play. You know, your grandparents might have spoken about Pele or George Best. We're living through it right now, so just appreciate it, man. And that's one of the reasons I wish he came to the Prem, only just to shut the doubters up, man. Because if you've seen this guy's numbers against the Premier League teams in, you know, Champions League games, what do you think he would do to Stoke City? I don't want to hear about Stoke City on a Wednesday night or Tuesday night or whatever it is, man. Like, Messi would destroy them. It's disrespectful, and it's a stupid argument to try and validate your points. This guy could do it anywhere, any conditions, and I don't think he needs to prove it, because he's proven it in the Champions League against all the big teams. He's turned up, man. And another thing I want to add with Messi is, because again, like I said, I'm just flowing in the sense of I've got no agenda. I just want to talk about Messi. You watch him play, and so even if you took away his goals and assists, you would still enjoy watching this man play football. You know, and I'm sure some of you've, like, you know, played football at, you know, like a decent level or whatever level, and, you know, there's always one guy that just turns up and he can just ping passes out of nowhere and, you know, play these like crazy through balls, and it's just, you know, it's a joy to watch. And this is what Messi does, man, on a high level, at the highest of levels. He's just a level above everyone else on a football pitch. And I love the way his teammates just want to die for him out there. You know, they're doing it as much as for him as much as they're doing it for themselves. And I think that just shows you the stature of this man. You know, how he inspires the people around him. And I just feel like I'm glazing him, man. You know, some people might say, like, yo, Sim's a Messi glazer. You know, I've already had a few debates this morning in my group chats, and I don't know, and that's what I think. Numbers have kind of ruined football to some degree, in the sense of we strictly judge players based on numbers, and I get it, that's output, it's important, it kind of defines who wins games, and, you know, how many match winners they've scored or assisted or whatever. But it's like Ronaldinho, you know, he didn't score the most goals, but obviously he was a good goal scorer. But you just watch this man play and you're just full of joy. You know, Messi's another one, Zidane, Iniesta, even Ronaldo, man, early Ronaldo. I'm not going to disrespect the guy, you know, because why would I? I think he's a fantastic player. Obviously, he's had to adapt with age as well and play a more central role. No matter what you think of the player, Ronaldo's levels, man, he's fantastic. And he was a joy to watch, especially and it pains me to say it, man, when he was at United. And then he got, you know, when he moved to Madrid, I felt like I could appreciate him more from like a neutral perspective, because Liverpool weren't really competing in the Champions League at those times, and if we were just getting, you know, we're getting knocked out, if we're being honest. And I kind of felt like I could appreciate the both of them more from a very, very neutral perspective. And again, I didn't want to talk about Ronaldo too much, but I'm not going to disrespect him either. But if you took Messi's goals off him, if you took his assists off him, he would still be the best player on the pitch. It's scary what we're watching, man, and I hope he brings back another one. I hope he brings number 2. But what do you guys think, man? What do you think of his performance? How far do you think Argentina can go in the World Cup this year? I think I'm not saying they were dark horses, but I think because he won in, you know, 2022, people assume that maybe Argentina might have a decline or whatever. But the all-round performance was good, man. And you know, people might say, "Oh, it's only Algeria, whatever." Listen, you can only beat who's in front of you. I think France will obviously be the favourites just based on the team they have. You know, it's an absolute super team, man. If you think of some of the players that haven't even been able to go with the squad, scary. But yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. What would you think of his performance? How far do you think they can go? Who are your favourites for the World Cup? If you're supporting England, do you reckon England can bring it back? And yeah, man, and like I said, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, so please run them up, man. Content it's going to be consistent, and I feel like I'm being consistent. You can catch me on Twitter, SimTalks LFC. It's in my bio as well. So if you just want to come over just for some football chat, if you comment, listen, I'll get back to you in the comments. But yeah, please run the likes and subscriptions up, man. And I'll see you guys soon.